Hey guys, Jake, Dog Creek Farm. Gonna show a few clips of Mike Sparks from Food Plant Forest planting a food forest at Jason's from Kentucky Sustainable Living. If this is something you're interested in, leave a comment and subscribe. I talked to Mike about possibly doing this in Indiana. So I'm just gonna show a few clips from the class, but if it's something you're interested in, leave me a comment and I'll get with Mike and we will get one set up in southern Indiana. Maybe spring, maybe fall, but let me know if you guys are interested in something like this. So here's some clips from the day. It was a great day and learned a ton. Thanks for watching.
A lot of people use, it's the wrong time of year. You can bring your marigolds in for your pollinators or your pests. And of course, everybody likes daffodils. So we'll put daffodils in your garlic. There's a lot of different things you can use, but this is just what we're going to use on this particular tree. What else we got on there? We got we got our ground cover.
Can you talk about the mulch for a minute?
Yeah,
I know I've found a lot of different, I'm getting 2 loads of mulch like I told you, but I found a lot of different information on whether you have to let it set or whether I can use it right away, or like the tree, if it's fresh chips.
Yeah, I have some, I've dug into them. They've been composting, they're smoking a little bit, but I don't know, being a short, they're not very deep, how much they, okay. I use what I can, but if you have some a couple years old, it's way better. Okay. So that would be a lot better. But sometimes I use straw. Watch your straw, because a lot of times they'll spray at the end when they're harvesting wheat to get their moisture level right, and they'll spray Roundup on there to get everything. So really watch you can test it too, and on other plants, or a lot of people say beans are very susceptible to, like your green beans or something like that. And you're right about the elderberry. It's Jerusalem artichoke leaves are for the pests.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you make your spray out of.
I know, I planted Jerusalem artichokes this year, and they're it seems like every bit of that plant can be used for something. Either fodder for your animals, you can eat the roots, all of it. It's a great plant.
He's gonna get some of them in his guild too, so he'll be able to propagate.
It's hot down there, but I think once we get it spread
That's
out.
what I think too, once it's not so deep.
Oh, yeah, it was steaming this morning.
Yeah. So we didn't talk.
Yeah, I would think 6 inches or less.
Yeah.
You'd be pretty safe.
Yeah, it can't compost much at a shallow depth, right? I mean, just don't do it. So we didn't talk about that. Some more weed suppression. Putting your cardboard down, man. I think you at least need two layers. I don't know if you can get. I'm sure there's some level you can do too much, but I think at least 2 layers. So I just kind of wanted to lightly touch on it on your handouts. Shelly made a good handout from Perma Pastures. He gets in depth on a lot of different plants you can add or take out. A lot of plants, if you notice, now when you start looking at them, they're the same. They do multiple things. Comfrey, it's a nutrient, pollinator, mulch.
Yeah.
It's breaking.
Comfrey it's a dynamic accumulator, so it goes down deep and it pulls nutrients up from the bottom.
Yeah,
it's
big
great
taproot.
for nitrogen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can feed it to your animals, and bees love it. It attracts bees. Like he said, use it for mulch. Like you can use it for everything.
Yeah,
and then it's
feed your
medicinal
livestock
too.
Yeah, cuts.
Yeah.
I never had any broken bones yet to try it on, but
yeah.
Another one I really like, yarrow. It attracts it. When it flowers, a lot of pollinators. I always see birds. It throws me off, but I guess birds do. I guess they eat some bugs maybe, but I always see that with the handouts type stuff. But another thing yarrow does, it's got a large taproot on it, and you can propagate it just after it would bloom, or in the wintertime, you can just chop it up and move it.
I haven't planted that one. I need to try that one.
It's real pretty. It's they don't seem to like the smell of it for some reason. Some of the pests don't. We talked a little bit about marigolds. They're pretty pollinators. That's just a few, some nitrogen fixers. We didn't really talk about that. I brought a mix. We're gonna put on there. I'm gonna put buckwheat and crimson clover on his, especially since it's bare. And
So you'll put that down before you put the mulch down?
I think we'll put so I see a lot of people do, I haven't been doing this, but I think this might be a good way to go. They'll put the cardboard down and then like a compost topsoil, then sprinkle your seed on, then maybe put a light wood chip. Or if you really want that to get established good, come in with straw like you would seed your grass. And then once it gets more established and stuff, you can start adding wood chips. But that would be however you want to do it. I've tried trees or little guilds different ways with wood chips and straw, because sometimes wood chips are hard to come by.
Right.
But your straw is a good. Everybody uses it when they reseed their yards and stuff. So,
But don't you run into the problem of like getting grass in your?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have grass.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use straw, right?
Yeah.
But it's an annual. It's
But
not perennial.
But if you put enough clover and stuff down,
It'll
yeah.
check it out.
I got pictures I'll show you guys on my phone that I got a crimson clover field that's pure crimson clover with knotweed in it.
Where do you get seed for that?
I get it from like a grazing specialist in our area. I did bring some today we can look at, and
Okay.
but
Big deals will have to.
yeah,
Really? Okay.
yeah.
didn't know
And
where
buckwheat, that's one of my favorites, but it maybe other places, areas, it grows better. But it's a lot of pollinators. You walk out there, you just hear the bees going crazy.
Okay.
And it will, if you let it go to seed, it'll be back next year too. I've seen some things that I'm trying. I'm bringing like rotted logs out of my woods and put it in my guilds for that fungi. When it feels squishy after rain. That has to be a good thing to add. So, and then I bring in rocks too. Start putting piles of rocks and stuff around them. So hopefully you can bring in a few snakes and things like that, because that's one of your slug eaters, and your toads and different things. So
Oh, I didn't think about that.
yeah, I think that's a good. I don't hear much about it, but I think that's somebody. I can't say who did it, but that was like, ding. That's what we're trying, right? That's what we're
And
trying to bring
rocks would
predators
help
in.
with erosion if you're on a hill or a slope.
Yeah,
or
that would be
whatever.
good too. So there you go. That's
Yeah.
something too. If you bring rock piles in
Yeah,
on the prevailing wind side, that would really help your cardboard from blowing away, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we've got, for my mom, we have a big flower garden that she can see through the window. We've got that's full of the big rocks, holding everything down.
Yeah, but kind of pile them up, make places for things to hide. So,
Yeah.
I don't have a whole lot else to say here other than just doing it, but I will talk about why do we want to grow a fruit tree? I mean, to feed ourselves, I guess, but I don't know. We looked up years ago from Purdue University. They gave you a schedule of spraying your apple trees. Pre-bud, bloom, when bloom falls off. Once the apple forms, every 7 to 10 days, they're spraying again. This is multiple times. So, I know you guys heard of him before. I'm gonna butcher his name up, but that's Stefan Skobiak.
Yeah.
So he's spraying whey on his, which is a milk byproduct from making cheese. I'm gonna try to skim the fat off of raw milk, and there will be some whey to it, but there might be. I don't care if there's fat on it. I just don't want to plug my sprayer up. So it's sticky. The whey is. It will stick on your leaf compared to the pesticides we buy and got multiple times. Every time it rains, you have to respray. You don't have to do that with this milk. He probably does it a few times a year, but
I know Billy talks about that from Permapasture, but he sprays organic whole milk
yeah.
on them.
Then they cut it with water.
Yeah, I think he might like 50-50 water.
Yeah. Well, if you
But
let your
he
cream
says
rise,
he does
then
it on a very, like, not a cloudy day. It has to be a sunny day, so it will evaporate off of it or whatever.
Stefan said he did it the night before it rained, supposed to rain. So I don't know. Once I think
And
it's like anything. Once it dries,
Yeah,
I think that's where Billy might have got some of his
Yeah.
info.
yeah. He watches. He follows him a lot. He's talks about how awesome he is.
Yeah, that guy's smart. So
Fruit trees are a challenge, they really are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what was frustrating, I had apples.
I feel like it could still, you know, like a tree that sits there, like why don't this thing ever grow?
Right,
I think it's pot bound. I think it's not.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So I put little jags in my hole. Like this one's not. It's gonna come in and hit here, and it's gonna be like, well, I'm drilling in.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I don't have like scientific
What
evidence
works
here.
for, yeah, it's what works for you.
Yeah. So it don't have to be like this. You can have another one coming out. A triangle hole is probably a good hole, right?
Yeah,
Especially with that, because then it would actually, or a star
go
like,
out, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
square. I guess it'd be square would be better, right? Yeah. That's just my 2 cents on that part. I think
I don't know.
that would help it. You wonder why it never gets growing good because it's pot bound.
My carrots didn't grow at all last fall, but then they took off over.
Yeah, you have to. You're right, yeah.
And chickens were in there.
So these are bare root, so
So then I dug up the
it's
garden.
getting kind of late in the year for bare root, but here we
Mike,
are.
you want some compost?
Yeah, we can put some on top of it when we get there.
So you wouldn't make it any deeper than that there, brother?
Only if we was gonna add a bunch of hard ground and had a bunch of clay and
Okay,
I mean you can, but I don't.
right.
This is the height we're gonna run. It looks a little bit high right there, but you'll see it's not gonna be high when we get all this compost he's gonna bring over, and when he wood chips, it's gonna
Right.
start working this too deep, you know. So we're gonna do something like that, and got that big leader root. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it into this wall. And this one here acts like it wants to go that way. So we're gonna do it like this. See what we have here. This is a pear tree. It's good if you can crumble up.
Right.
Trying to, and the biggest thing is kind of keeping like air pockets out of it, because you have a lot of air pockets.
Yep.
It's not really as much as the being any other reason for me, is just because of the air pockets, right? So I'm gonna do this one tree, and you guys are gonna do the rest of them.
Cool.
We'll do a little discuss what we need to do to the guilds and stuff. We'll do the trees first, then we'll come and do the supportive plants. Little tip is, it's nice, especially if you got grass. If you have cardboard already, you know your dirt on the cardboard. I know it don't sound like much, but you're trying to dig through your, you know how it gets. Everybody's crossed that bridge.
Microbial
I guess
life.
everybody sees where the graft was, right? I don't know how much everybody knows about this stuff, but this is the root stock, and then they grafted it onto it. After it got growing, they just went ahead and snipped it off. That's probably how they did it. Put that in the nursery. So we're gonna be in this range. We're just gonna do a light around it, and then we're gonna maybe hump it up out here a little bit.
Me, I took the bullet, I ran it
Yeah,
out.
like that. But so that's good about wetting your cardboard, that we can dig through it when you put your other plants in. But we can just do a few like that, and then we can put our supportive plants in. You can put your cardboard down now, or you can put it down. It's really up to the individual. Not that far out.
The whole way, you know what else done, right?
Yeah.
They're not
Oh, look at the bottom up there.